Hello, welcome Endo sisters and supporters to another episode of K&K Real Talk. We are so happy to have you here. We're always happy to have you here. If you haven't met me yet, my name is Kenny King. I am the owner and founder of Kenny Rochelle Coaching. I am a holistic health and wellness coach and transformational life coach. I focus specifically on helping women with endometriosis reclaim their bodies, reclaim their lives, and demand better. And I'm here with my co-host, Kristen McCrovey, who is the founder of Endometriosis and Me and all of its entities and pages that are amazing and fantastic. Hello, Kristen.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. I love being here with you on Mondays. It makes Mondays brighter and better, for sure. So guys, today we're going to talk about toxins in our beauty products and how this relates to endometriosis. And before we dive in, I think it's really important to share that there are so many environmental toxins that we're exposed to that do impact endo. This is in food, in our water, in our home products and cleaning products. We're exposed to many, many toxins. However, what we're going to do today is focus on what goes on our skin, because our skin is the largest organ of the body. It absorbs everything we put on the skin, goes into the bloodstream. And so for today's purposes, while we will touch on those other topics in future episodes, we want to focus on beauty, because at the end of the day, if you try to change everything overnight, it gets so overwhelming. I've been there, I've done it, I've tried it. And I don't know about you, Kristen, but I get to that point where I'm like, what? This is all like potentially making me worse. Then I just need to stop living because I can't do it. Like, it's too much. I don't know if you've had a day like that or an experience like that.
Definitely. You just feel like everything just causes more and more pain, stress, toxic. It's like you can't even leave your house.
Yeah.
Or put anything on your skin.
Right. It's like system overload. And it's so important that having, and I know every endo sister has a different journey and different experience. Some experiences are extremely chronic. And so I want to share with you that our message is not stop using all your beauty products and go totally, without makeup or whatever. That's not the goal here. The goal here today is to discuss how does it impact your health? How does it impact endo? And what options do you have in order to create better? Because this isn't about judgment. This isn't like, oh, you're doing it wrong. This is, hey, here's how this impacts this, and here's some options you have about it or for it. So let's just talk about xenoestrogens, because I know that's not as common of a term. People aren't aware of how it really impacts our body. But basically, xenoestrogens are man-made chemical compounds which mimic the effect of estrogen in the human body. Why is this important? Well, it disrupts our hormones. So just xenoestrogens all by themselves wreak havoc on any human body. Now, when we enter endometriosis into the equation, we know, what do we know? We know that endometriosis is estrogen dominant. And we know that endometriosis, the actual adhesions, they develop their own estrogen. So if you're sitting there thinking, but I can't do anything about the estrogen because endo develops its own estrogen, that is true. But what that means is that if you reduce the amount of xenoestrogens that your body is coming into contact with, you can reduce the havoc that it's wreaking on your system. Because now not only is your normal estrogen level interacting with these man-made chemicals that you're introducing to the system, but on top of that, now the estrogen created by the actual disease, that still also is affected by that. So this is something that, it's really important to discuss, because it impacts the just normal hormonal activities, let alone the health effects that it the health effects for all of us with endometriosis. So this is really key. And Kristen, because I felt a little bit discombobulated there. Did I explain that well? Like, does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
So basically, it's fake estrogen, synthetic estrogen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That is going in your body however way, usually through your skin because it is the largest organ, like Kenny said. And so basically you're just adding more estrogen to the equation of a estrogen dominated disease and a disease that makes its own estrogen. So it's like estrogen overload.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. And so there are tons of options when it comes to more natural products on the market. There are many beauty options that do not, and I'm sure some of you are really familiar of like parabens and glycol and sulfates and some of these skincare and beauty products. We don't always realize that it's like in the toothpaste, in the shampoo, in the moisturizer, in the deodorant, in the makeup, even a nail polish and nail polish removers. And this is that part where it can be so overwhelming. And so what we want to encourage you to do is, well, here's one thing that I do. So because whenever I like looked at a list of all the areas of my life that xenoestrogens I was being exposed to, I was like, oh, I got to get rid of all this. And then it was like overwhelming because I was like, who the heck can afford to throw out pretty much every product they have, household, water bottles, just everything that it relates to, and replace everything? That's just a lot. It's overwhelming. So here's a rule of thumb that I love. If there are some products that you don't even care about anyway, those you can just trash. But one of the things that I think is really useful is when you get close to needing to repurchase a product, that's a really good time to explore. I'm almost out of this. Could I perhaps try something different? And so then you can research that one product, or maybe it's 2 or 3 products. So it's like when you're running out of shampoo or conditioner, when your toothpaste is low, when your deodorant is low. That's something that's been really useful for me. How has this been for you, Kristen?
It's been really useful for me too. I remember a time where I did just like throw out almost everything. I was like, not all of this is no good. Trash it. Start over. Mm-hmm. I know when my best friend started with Arbonne, which is a product that is like the best, they say the best of nature and science, I think it is, something like that. And I really like their makeup because it is like water-based and very little, if any, chemical. And I mean, the products are expensive, but they are great, and you get what you paid for pretty much. And when going like with a more natural product, it's not going to last as long because that's what the parabens and things like that do. Parabens basically prevent the forming of bacteria so that the product lasts longer. So you can just put it on a shelf in a couple months and it'll still be good. Whereas the more natural you go, the less the less amount of time it's going to last. Mm-hmm. But and things like going to like Lush, or just even starting with going a little more natural rather than just like flat out changing, because that can be pricey. I mean, like more natural products are more expensive. That's why, because it's more natural products. Like, I mean, like there's more natural ingredients in it. I mean, chemicals are cheaper, obviously. So the more chemicals that are in it, say at your most drugstore brand things, because they are full of chemicals, they're cheaper. So, and they last longer. So cheaper and last longer. But think of what you're putting on your body. Think of what's in it and then what's going on you.
Yeah, because it definitely comes in terms of the areas of it comes down to, it's the same thing with nutrition. It's the same thing with living a lifestyle that really can benefit a body with endometriosis. It's what choices are you willing to make to ensure that you have a better quality of life, that you feel better. And so again, it's not, it doesn't have to be all or nothing. This can be a slow, gradual process. However, there are so many options. And so there are other, there's like you were mentioning that Arbonne has some great products, and I'm not as familiar with their products. I am familiar with like Beauty Counter. I know Young Living also does makeup. And they're like the essential oil company. And believe it or not, there are things that you can get. The drugstores and like other common stores they're kind of coming over to the healthier side. So there are some amazing things like, there's an app. There's actually 2 apps. I think I mentioned it on a previous episode, but there's an app called Thrive. I'm sorry, it's not called Thrive. Apologies. It's called Think Dirty. And Think Dirty, and there's another one called, the other one I can't make work for me, but other people make it work for them. It's called Healthy Living. And the Healthy Living one is done by what are they called? I'm going to say it wrong. The EWG, Environmental Working Group, does the Healthy Living app. And then there's Think Dirty. And the cool thing about these is you can actually, there's barcodes on them, and you can scan your products and get an idea of the ratings. Like it'll kind of let you know where it stands. And so I love the apps because it makes it easier. So I will legit pull out my app and I'll be scanning stuff at the store. And one of the things I've done recently is I've checked out at, what can I find that is at the drugstore? So there's some like physician's formula products that are non-toxic. There are, now I will say this, I bought a particular mascara that I probably need to call them and send it back. It was awful. But it's being willing to try things. And it is okay if you're like, this is not an excellent product. They normally want to know. I don't generally do that, but whenever you buy a product and it's brand new, it's okay to call them and say, hey, here's my experience, my honest experience with this product, and let them know. Sometimes they'll let you pick out a different one and they'll send it to you. Like, okay, well, you didn't like that mascara. Maybe you can try this mascara, and thanks for your feedback. So just keep that in mind, because they want to know that their products on the shelves are going to be products that sell. So you're not like, if you're coming across as totally honest and genuine and kind, it's not rude to do that. So sometimes you can do just some research and look up, what beauty products work fantastic. Because here's another complaint. Like Kristen was mentioning, they might be more expensive. Yes, when it comes to your health is an investment. So there are going to be things that you're going to invest more on when it comes to your longevity, how you feel every day in your body. And that's so important, because we will spend money on houses and cars and purses and smartphones and all sorts of things that will not improve. Well, I don't want to say it won't improve the quality of our life. Obviously, if you have a home and versus not having a home, that improves the quality of life. But I think you understand what I mean. Like, whether you have a nice little home or a big fancy home with all the bells and whistles, there's nothing wrong with that. But that's not going to extend your quality of life or reduce the amount of pain that you're in or the number of flare-ups that you have. Same thing with the food that we put in our body and what we put in and on our skin. Like, we'll spend money on things that don't really matter, but not invest in ourselves when it comes to our healing journey, our journey of better, our journey of feeling better in this body that we're in. And so this is one area that has helped me see improvements. And by the way, I'm not like 100%, like, it's not like I never drink out of a water bottle. That's not what it's about. It's just slowly but surely improving the number, improving the stuff that goes on your skin. Like, yes, I have a moisturizer that I actually bought at Walmart, of all places, that is totally, like, it doesn't have any xenoestrogens in it. It's totally natural, organic, yada, yada. So it's just being willing to take those steps, like one step at a time. And being willing. So the second thing is, not only just, the first thing was being willing to invest in yourself and the quality of what you're putting in and on your skin. And the second thing, I think, is being willing to try things, to explore, like, Google the best natural deodorant. You'll find a couple that come up. Native, by the way, is probably the best one. So that might be the best one. I've tried tons of natural deodorants, and sometimes that goes really wrong.
One of my friends literally just uses lemon juice.
Ooh.
So I'm not sure.
Have you ever tried that?
I'm nervous too, because I do sweat a lot, embarrassingly. Yes, I sweat a lot. So I'm really concerned about trying new deodorant. And that's what I wanted to add also. I mean, it can be a slow process. If you're anything like me and change is extremely hard and you're like stuck in your ways and you're addicted to food and yada, 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 whatever, wherever you are. I mean, my change process has been so slow. I mean, it is so difficult. It's day by day, take it day by day, and you can change like itty bitty things first, like anything, something small, like, I can't think of anything small because everything seems huge right now.
That's fair, though. That's so fair, because when you're in it, it does feel huge. And I 100% agree with you. That's something that I work with my clients a lot on. It's like, we don't have to turn our lives upside down. We can if we want to, but a lot of times that's tougher to sustain. But if we work on that just like 1% better every day, or that just, what can I easily do and add and implement into my life and make that a habit? And then we can build on, I call it habit stacking. Like, we can just stack on a habit and stack on a habit. But if we ease into it, it's that quote, small hinges swing big doors. It's those little tiny things. Those things consistently over time, those create like the big massive shifts. But it's that little, etching it out. It's etching it out. So you can imagine, like, you're carving a beautiful masterpiece out of wood. It's all those little teeny tiny etches that really create shift and change and make it turn into something beautiful.
You're a process. Life is a process. It's literally just consistency. Do it every day and you'll see change eventually, if not today. Probably not today, depending on what you're changing. But over time, you'll see change. And I did notice that with A, wearing less makeup, and B, wearing like better quality makeup when I do wear makeup. I was wearing a lot of makeup and crappy makeup, and some of it was old even. And my face and my skin just was really weighed down, and I had like pimples and things, and I was wondering why. And it was shitty makeup.
Yeah.
So just be more aware and look at labels. Before you buy it in the store, you're allowed to look at the label, examine it, see what's in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and a couple of rules of thumb on that is one, if you don't understand most of the words, and there's a whole lot of them, that may not be the best product. And so this is a great rule of thumb for food. Like when people are reading food labels, I always tell people count chemicals, not calories. So if you totally ignore the calories, forget the nutrition label, if you have two products, I don't care what it is, I don't care if it's potato chips. If you have two products and you turn them around and one has like 17 ingredients and you're not sure what half of them are, and the other one says like salt, potatoes, yada yada, like it has 5 or 7, go with the one that has less, and it's going to be similar with your beauty products. If you're looking at labels and you're overwhelmed and you're confused and you didn't memorize all the words, because let me tell you, I have some like never lists that I look at, and I can't pronounce half the crap on there. You know, like I'm looking at one right now, and some are obvious. Animal fat. This is for beauty products, by the way. Animal fats, oils, and musks, and there's, you know, other stuff that I just can't pronounce. I mean, they have things like BHA and BHT, formaldehyde, obviously, like, but we're not looking for formaldehyde, right? Like, we're not looking for that. And you see things like BPA, but you're going to get, you know, you'll see sodium lauryl sulfate, but then you're going to get to a place where you see stuff that you're like, yeah, I don't even know how to, what is this, mesothelioma? Like, I don't know how to pronounce this thing. You know? Like, and that's okay. You're not supposed to memorize these words. You're not supposed to know all this stuff. It's just, okay, I'm looking at two products. This one definitely has less chemicals than that one, and I can read some of the ingredients. Go with that product. That's a step, and it's a fantastic step. And you can apply the same logic to food. And yeah, I mean, I totally agree with what you're saying, Kristen, about just slow and steady wins the race. It really, truly does. And this is an area where if you get stuck, if you're not sure what to do, or if you're like, I don't know why I keep doing this. I keep doing this behavior. It's a behavior I don't want to do. That's the time where you look for assistance. That's the time where you look for the sustainable habit change. And that's what you look for a coach for, or a program. It doesn't matter how easy it is or how complicated it is or the duration of it. Just start somewhere or buy a book on it. Like you don't have to make the right decision. You just need to make a decision and get yourself, if you don't know how to do something, or if you're consistently unhappy with where you are and how you feel, make a decision to do something different. Anything that you decide to try is better than not doing something, not taking action. So even if you take action and you're like, well, that didn't work, that wasn't the right thing, that's okay. You're trying. And every time you fail at something, you're learning. You're gaining something from that. This didn't work for me. Well, why not? Let me list out the reasons why it didn't work, because now I know that in my next thing that I try, it cannot have these, if it has these things, it's probably not going to work for me either. That's a real issue I have with diet culture. That's one of the real, and you know, I won't go off on that soapbox or tangent, but that's a real issue there. So I think the heart of our message here today is the quality matters, and you're worthy of high quality products, of taking care of what goes into your body, because that absolutely impacts your health, your immune system, how it's showing up in your body. And taking the time to make those little changes will help so much. The journey's different for all of us. It truly is. Yeah. Kristen, was there anything you wanted to add to that, or?
Do some research. Just like look at your products that are in your house. What are you currently using? Usually you don't really look at the ingredients, you're looking at the price and the packaging.
Yeah. And that reminded me of something. Don't feel like you have to start with your favorite product. Like if you have an absolute favorite lipstick that you feel like a badass babe in, don't go trying to change the lipstick first. change something else. Go with the deodorant, the toothpaste, go with the nail polish nail remover, which by the way, nail polish nail remover, Zoya or Spa Ritual, those have pretty great products. And but don't start with like your favorite product that like that Kat Von D eyeliner, or I don't even know if she does eyeliner. I'm pretty sure she does though, but you know, don't start there. Start with something that you're like, okay, this is interchangeable. I can try this new skincare routine, maybe my face care routine or my body wash. I can try something with my body wash. I can try something with my shampoo and conditioner. That for me has been the toughest, the shampoo piece. That's been tough for me. I have one of my clients actually does, what is it? I'm going to say it wrong. Monat, I think, Monat. And as far as I understand, it's really clean. And it's shampoo, it's hair care, it's hair products. She's going to swing by my house and drop off some samples. So I have to get back to you on how it is because I haven't tried it. But if I try the natural hair stuff, I will have like oil like this. It'll look like an oil slick here. And my ends will be all dry. And no, I don't wash my hair every single day. I use dry shampoo and all that mess. But yeah, so my shampoo, I'm still working on that. So that's a work in progress. And so it's about just being patient, trying things out, being willing to make some mistakes. And if you don't love it, you can gift that product by way of something I like to do around Christmas time is make little bags for the homeless, and we'll pass them out. And so we'll collect throughout the year, like the extra, you know, when you're traveling and you have those hotel shampoos and conditioners you never use, or you have the little travel size stuff that you didn't open. And sometimes we'll throw, you know, just crackers or feminine hygiene products or just things that we can put in there that we just have that we're not using. So if you had like, okay, you bought this shampoo and you hated the shampoo, you could either get really cheap little containers and, you know, divvy it out and create some of those little care Ziploc baggies for the homeless. Or if it's just the big product and you don't want to do that, put some stuff together and take one bag to one person. And now you've just shared the wealth. You tried a product, it wasn't your favorite, and there are people who have less than you have that are in need, and they don't care how that product, they may not have endo, and they don't care how that product, you know, responds to their body. They just want clean hair. So keep that in mind. That's something that doesn't work for you. It doesn't mean it's a waste or has to go in the trash. You may know somebody who doesn't have endo that would love to try that shampoo. So tons of options. You know, it's about just exploring. And then if you run into a challenge, like Kristen said, do some research, become solution oriented. And as always, reach out to us and ask us questions if you want us to talk about a particular product or a particular, you know, Kristen loves doing reviews, and she's been doing that for a while. And you can find those at Endometriosis and Me, and then also your YouTube channel, right? Like not just the website.
Yeah, I do some on YouTube, like some of my reviews. I want to do more.
But they can find the existing ones on the website, right?
Yes, any of the existing ones are on the website and endometriosisandme.com.
Yeah. So, and we can try anything, guys. So if you want, hey, what's your list of products that you love? Or what are the natural products you tried and didn't like, or whatever? Let us know so that we can show up for you, because we can talk about this again in a future episode. We can show up here and just run through the list of products and talk about this more in the future. So don't hesitate to reach out. You can, of course, reach Kristen through Endometriosis and Me at the website or at the Facebook page or the closed group. They're all titled the same, Endometriosis and Me. So you can find her there. And you can reach me at Kenny Rochelle Coaching. That's my Facebook page. That's kind of new. You can always friend request me on my personal page. I'll add you in. And that's just Kenny King. And then if you really want to dive in deeper to this holistic care around endometriosis, also have a closed group that works in conjunction with endometriosis and me, and that is Endometriosis, Nourish, Flourish, Thrive. So you find us in one of those categories, you'll see all the other categories so that you know how to stay connected and how to learn more. And did we miss anything, Kristen? I think we kind of encapsulated everything, but I didn't want to sign off until...
I think we got everything. As always, if you guys have a topic that you want us to research or look into or hear us talk about, let us know in any of our forms of communication, and we will get back to you. Probably do a video on it.
Absolutely. And we will see all of you next Monday. So we will see you soon. You have a wonderful rest of your week, and we love you, ladies.